Right, so going back to making a claim. This is an example claim that I used in one of my situations. Yeah. So this is a notice of breach of a right. So they breached my rights, and it's a private contract between me and one of the police constables. So I'm making it known that this contract is private between the two parties. Yeah. So before I go into the deep parts and before I go into enforcing anything, I need to collect information first, you get me? So I need to understand their viewpoint, and I need to address the breach of rights that occurred, you get me? So on so and so date, I was unlawfully arrested by so and so. This caused a major breach of rights on my behalf, in which I was subjected to abuse from being held in said police station, to which I was held under duress, which was mentioned during my previous correspondence. So the police, as they've come to me, I've already asserted myself and asserted my rights and haven't consented to their services or anything like that, but they've still chose to act and interact with me, and then want to physically put their hands on me. So my questions to them would be, have I granted or conveyed any interest to you in my property, whether real or personal? And that's basically, have I give you any interest for you to interact with me, being my personal property, which is my body? Have I give you any interest to touch my personal property, being my body? You get me? And if so, can you provide me with the evidence that I've conveyed to you such interest? If they can provide me with that information and with the evidence, then obviously it seems that I've given them consent to act over me. You get me? But if they can't provide me with this information, then they can't prove that they had consent to interact with me. You get me? So you see what I'm saying? I'm trying to build the information before I actually act and enforce on what it is I want to enforce. Yeah. Did I authorize the officers to detain my property, manhandle my property, and physically damage my property at any point? And can proof of such authorization be provided? So when I say property, you have to understand that we are property in the system. You get me? So if we refer to ourselves as property, then it's more of a case where the police have a duty to intervene, in a sense, because the police are there to protect property. Yeah, as ironic as it sounds. So with no proof or granting of any kind of interest over my property, being me, my personal body, yeah, if you can't provide me with this information within 10 days of me sending this notice, then you agree to the above statements. And how commerce works, if you set a term and conditions in your statement, which basically I've given them 10 days for them to reply and to etc etc, if they don't comply with that, then what I've said stands. So failure to provide any evidence will be admission of trespass on a right, which is my rights, and will be subject to the following, which is basically, this is my monetary value of the situation. So if they don't reply or give me said information, yeah, then they've accepted these terms, for they can't prove that they didn't unlawfully breach my right. You understand? So now I have a valid contract that I can now enforce if they can't provide me with said details. And I've give them the amount of days. So if they come with a notice maybe 20 days later, that's sufficient. It's invalid, because that's not what you required of them. You get me? Please respond within 10 days. Mere statements is insufficient and all points should be sworn under oath, which is a standard thing, you get me, under penalty of perjury, which then you could take them to court and get them done for lying or perjury. And just make asserting that this contract is between the two parties, me and the police constable. I did put I will waive any monetary compensation for a formal apology, but I kind of knew that they wouldn't apologize, because if they apologize, then it means they're accepting liability. You get me? Signed it, got a couple of witnesses to sign it. So in short, this is a form of a claim. So don't you think this is so much better than making a complaint and filling out them complaint forms? You get what I'm saying? So you have full control over your contract, over your claim. Yeah? And it's a lot more powerful than making a complaint and moaning like children. You get me? We ain't children out here. You get me? We need to stand on our own 2 feet. So I would also advise you to just Google into making claims into the courts and things like that, so you have a broader understanding of what I'm talking about, because this can be used in any type of situation, in any type of breach. You get me? You just cater it to your breach of right and the police's breach of duty. You get me? So going back to the beginning, and this is a recap video. So if you've watched the first video, it was very, very brief. You get me? I kind of just gassed it up a bit, but this is what was in the first video. So you need to understand that please by consent, as we've already went over. Notices and affidavits are very important. Affidavits are your statement of facts. This is my form of notice. Claims are so much more powerful than complaints. Complaints are only there to make you feel like you've got some control over a breach of rights. Yeah, depending how you fill out your claim, there is a monetary value to your claim, depending how you do it. Yeah. And I think that's basically what I want to cover in this video. Look in the description and I'll put this template notice in, you get me, so you can tailor it to how you want to use it. And apart from that, just get onto the website again, Google Liberation Squad, website www.liberationsquad.co.uk. follow us on Insta, Liberation, don't forget the dot in between, squad. Follow us on Insta, or like us on the like the Facebook page, Liberation Squad. And yeah man, good luck.